everyone, I got Jake here. He's going home tomorrow, so we're gonna get a workout in tomorrow, and I'll be sure to get some clips of that, and I'm sure he'll get some clips of that to include in his video. But before we talk about the Arnold for a little bit, I want to give a quick update about my week of training. I don't have too much to talk about because I left my notebook in my trunk of my car, I hope, and so I wasn't able to look back during the week. But as far as I remember deadlifts, that was a big thing I remember. And the most recent one I did 505 for 1 rep of a hook grip and then 7 with straps without a belt. And earlier the week I did 495 from a deficit without a belt for 5 reps with that. So deadlifts went really well this week. I did the bench. That's what I talked about. 290 bench. I did 2 singles with that, so that went really well. And then squats, I forget what I worked up to, but basically everything moved really well this week. And the Arnold, we were able to get an extra training session in. We went to Beyond Limits training.
Beyond Limits training.
Yeah. And it's where Katie Ann trains. Watching a Mark Bell movie. I got steroids on the brain. But we worked out the same gym that she works out in, so we're able to see all the racks and stuff she uses when she works out, as well as her records on the wall. So that was really fun. And so everything went really well as far as my training. I'm looking forward to next week. I have my maxes for the 3 lifts. I have to plan what I'm doing next week, so I'm not sure exactly what I'll be shooting for, but that will be all in next week's video with that. But with that all out of the way, what did you think of the Arnold? And we can start
Actually, first I'm noticing is like if I sit back here, it's like when they filmed like Lord of the Rings movies. Yeah. Like you look so much bigger. Like my head.
Your head looks really small.
That's like all I've been paying attention to during the video.
Your arms look like twice the size of your head.
Okay. I'll get up a little closer here. Now it's a little more focused. I actually have a picture, I think, of Connor with Jay Cutler, and Jay Cutler is actually so much further back in the picture to where his head looks about half the size of Connor's. I'll have to show it. It's with that. The Arnold Classic went really well. It was a lot more packed today, obviously because it was Saturday. Yesterday on Friday, it's the work week. A lot of people are still, at their jobs. On Saturday, most people are off, and it was probably a big day where a lot of people were actually driving out or flying out for
and a lot of more bigger things were happening with like strongman stuff. And
yeah, yesterday there was a little more like amateur stuff going on. I think some of the, I think actually like all the bikini, physique, and then bodybuilding stuff for the most part was today. Yesterday was some more of the like amateur stuff, or there was that one thing where 2 people just like pull back and forth. I don't know what it's called. It was like MAS,
Russian,
like MAS something.
You got a piece of wood in the middle, and you're both holding on to the same.
Yeah, you're basically like holding onto it this way,
and then you just try to yank it out of their arms.
And whoever goes fullest one way, I guess.
There's like these Russian and Kakistani people.
They made like this huge thing, like this huge event. Like this is like the biggest thing ever going on. I'm like, maybe it is. There's a lot of things I don't know about, but
like Russian armies.
It was definitely a lot more packed. Probably. I felt it was probably at least twice as packed as it was yesterday.
Definitely seemed like it.
Yeah, because when we walked in, we got there right around the same time. And on Friday, we walked in, we got our tickets pretty quickly. This time we walked in, and the line was really far. The line moved very fast and very quickly, thankfully.
It was just the immense amount of people. Because the last time we walked essentially straight up to the desk.
Straight up, yeah, we got our tickets.
We like hung out there for a second getting our tickets on the phone, and
they got us like we got it in about like 3 or 5 minutes. Today we were in line for about 10 minutes, so the line moved very quickly for how large it was. But oh my God, the big spot where you knew that things were crazy was not the lines in the actual expo, but crossroads where people are going one way and then other people are going another way, and then the people are just standing still to where if you've never been to the expo, if you have any fear of claustrophobia or don't like tight spaces, this is not the place for you. Trust me, you will be shoulder to shoulder with people, at times not moving or waddling back and forth to where I'm not claustrophobic in any way. I guess unless I was like I don't know, buried alive or something, probably, but I'm not, that's not really something I think it's gonna happen. So, but in terms of being in like crowds, and you literally are like this going back and forth. So it didn't bother me. It was more just frustrating because you're trying to get from one section to another, and you have to really plan your route and look and see where things are moving.
And you have to be kind of rude. You just kind of
you do.
I remember someone going like, "Geez, man," I'm like, "I'm sorry, I have to get through because I'm not going to stand here for 30 minutes."
Yeah,
until
you have to have kind of
opens.
the same mindset if you're walking through Manhattan and people are trying to offer you things. You kind of just have to understand, hey, I'm trying to get from from where I'm at now to my destination, and if I bump into you, you guys have to accept that when you go to the expo, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
In terms of meeting people, saw a lot more people. Yesterday we couldn't find Jay Cutler. I'm a big Jay Cutler fan. I got a new shirt, obviously, and I was looking for him everywhere. And this year he didn't have his own booth for Cutler Athletics. Usually it's back to back with BPI because that's still who he's sponsored with. But this year he's sponsored with several different people: BPI, Atomics Footwear, and also MegaFit Meals. So he was going back and forth between all three of them, and we never were able to catch him. And I'm looking on his Snapchat. I'm like, I know he's here. So I was so confused. And finally today, for the very last time, because we had checked the BPI stand multiple times, I was like, this is the last time. He's not here. I'm giving up. And he was there. I was like, yes. Okay, so we got in line. And Victor, anyone who has watched the Snapchats or videos with Jay Cutler, Victor Jackson, VJ to Inspire is his Snapchats. Really funny. He always wears these funny shirts like Jimmy has right now. And I was telling Jimmy, I was like, when we go through the line, find Victor. He will love that shirt.
And I thought it was Victor Martinez, the old school body. So I'm looking, when Jake's like, there's Victor, I'm looking for this bald, jacked guy. I'm like, this, like...
Yeah, and Victor comes up and looks at it and immediately starts laughing and takes a video of it. And we got some pictures of it that I'm sure Jim will probably throw up. I'll send them over to you.
If I can find him, he didn't put them on his story.
I know,
or you took pictures, right?
I took some pictures.
Okay,
he said he hasn't put anything on Snapchat or Instagram from today. He's put a few things on, so he might put it on for tomorrow. And we'll see what's going to happen. Who knows? But I laughed. It was great. We even went and saw to Jay Cutler, and immediately Jay Cutler saw a shirt and immediately started laughing. He's like, where the hell did you get that shirt?
So we're like, Walmart. And then we all took our pictures. And he's like, did you really get that at Walmart? And I'm like, yeah, it was like $5. They got all the other Sesame Street. I'm like, that's where Victor gets all his crap from. He's always coming with some weird shirt from Walmart.
But we got some good footage of it. We unfortunately don't have the audio from that, so that's just going to be imprinted. Yeah. Our mind's fun story, but
I'll have to play around with it to see if I can get, but probably not, because it's so loud in that place, because there's 80 different people playing blaring music, not just music, but just blaring
and then
music.
You have probably about at least like 10,000 people like crammed into this arena, really.
Having conversations, how could they?
Yeah, and it was a lot busier today. There are more events going on, so even if you're not near it, you hear events being announced to the other side of the entire room. And it's a pretty big room if you've ever been in the Columbus Convention Center, but you could hear everything. So I felt this today was a lot better. It's definitely busier, but got a lot more out of it. I got a lot more footage. Met a few more
definitely
people.
Interacting with Jay Cutler was definitely, and Victor, what's his last name?
Victor Jackson, I believe it is.
Victor Jackson, like that was a really great experience to have him excited. And we went back to, I'm gonna get their name right, BSN. I call him BCN so much, but Scott Herman was still there, and Jake and I went and did the sled pull thing, and we'll have clips of that in our videos about the Arnold. But I was able to win because I'm jacked and tan, and
it was a good one. We were joking about it because he said that he did better on the pull, but I did better on the push.
Yeah.
And I was happy.
Some subs.
Yeah, he got like a second thing in the pre-workout. I was kind of happy with it though. I was happy that it was a very close match. Because we kind of did it for fun. I didn't care about getting a second pre-workout. It was the very end of the day. We were about to leave.
Yeah, it was just to compete.
It was just fun. To like screw off with each other.
Scott Herman was there again, and I don't know if he really noticed the shirt, but I know the other guys that were up there, they saw.
Yeah,
like, they laughed. They're like, "Look at that shirt." I was like, "Do people not like?" I wore this so much that it doesn't even faze me that I have the song.
I guess it's because like walking around in a setting like that, people really find it hysterical.
But I'm like this. Do you not? I would think that other people would be having this shirt because it's a shirt from Walmart. It was like, I don't know if it was $5, but it was 10 or less. Like I almost bought several different versions of like Elmo and the trash.
I've seen a lot
trash
of
guy.
Just the Cookie Monster.
Or the trash guy.
Oh, I don't remember his name. I didn't watch Sesame Street.
Guy that lives in a trash can and Big Bird, like all them, and then Disney
like in
characters
or something.
Yeah.
But the three people I talked to about my show in June. I got the advice from.
Yeah, it was Jay Cutler for one.
Yeah, Jay Cutler, Nick Wright, and Johnny Jackson. I met all of them and I asked them. I told them, I said, hey, I have my first show coming up in June, just amateur-wise, like any tips. And they all gave really good tips I was expecting, but they said in a very good way. Nick Wright said just make sure that your posing's down because you can pose yourself into last or first place. Johnny Jackson talked a lot about water, making sure that you don't just cut water out, do it smart. And Jay Cutler said just make sure you give yourself enough time to get ready. So all of them, especially Johnny Jackson and Jay Cutler, are both very personable. And that's what I always like about meeting Victor or Jay's, because they're very personal. They don't feel like they're trying to get you in there, get a picture, get a signature, and get you out. They kind of take the time to make sure that you get the full experience. So that was really good. Again, we were only like at their booth for like, we were talking to for like 30 seconds or something, but it was a good 30 seconds.
Yeah, and I mean, you just get the vibe from like Jay Cutler that he's just a regular guy.
Yeah.
And that
Johnny Jackson.
Johnny Jackson.
He was a bigger bodybuilder. I know, like in the 90s, leading through like the 2000s. He still competes. He actually said he's competing in the Arnold Classic Brazil, I believe, in 6 weeks. He joked saying he wasn't ready yet, and I laughed saying that he was definitely a lot bigger than I was. He looked phenomenal. I think he's into his 40s now, but he looks great for his age. Whether he's in his 30s, 40s, 50s, either way, I'm in phenomenal shape. So that was great. First time I'd ever met Johnny Jackson. Again, another really personal, just like chill guy.
And Nick Wright, that's the second time you've met him, and I've had no desire to meet him. I'm very weird when I go to these expos. So I basically, like, Jake feels bad because I'm like, I kind of want to see some strongman stuff. And it was just a big cluster of people. And I was just like, I saw a couple of 800-pound ones, and I heard whoever did, I forget his name, but did 1,031 pounds.
1,031.9, it was like Jeremy. I'll look his name real quick.
Jeremy something, but like I heard him on the speakers when I was across. I'm like, I'm not sprinting across because I heard him announce the weight, and I'm like, I'm just gonna see a video of it later, and we did on Facebook with that. And Jeremy Jurgens, I think is his name, wasn't it?
Jeremy Jurgens, I don't know.
But with him and the other guys that I stood there and watched a couple of them, and there's just rows and rows and rows of people. I'm just like, it's overwhelming because
Jerry Pritchett.
Jerry Pritchett.
Yeah, it was 1,030.9 pounds or 467.6 kilograms. Eddie Hall still has the highest world record deadlift, but this was the world record long bar deadlift in a strongman competition.
With just straps.
Yeah, just straps and a long bar. Eddie Hall, when he did his, he had a standard bar, plates, a suit, straps, and he was allowed to hitch. Still, both really impressive.
Yeah. I think in strongman they're allowed to hitch too, but it's definitely a big difference not having the suit. I guess about what was that, 80 or 70 pounds ish.
I never used a suit. The closest I've ever come to use any type of thing was the slingshot for pressing, and that was literally just
and he said
one
he played
time
around with knee wraps a couple times, but nothing
serious
with that stuff.
I try and do as much as I can raw, so that anything I'm adding like a
seeing that kind of stuff. I remember that was a big difference between this year and last year. Is when I saw some of the big strongman stuff. There wasn't as much of a crowd, and I think part of that is the deadlift part is what most people like to see with it, and not so much people like to see like the big names doing the log presses and just things like that. But the deadlift is like, if you think strong, like that's the thing most people know of with the deadlift, because it's you do 1,000 pounds. That's
one thing we didn't get to see. That I know that I think we were all upset about the Highland throw.
I saw a little bit of that, and that was interesting because I don't remember that at all. Because I think last year, because I was listening to a podcast about it. About someone that does the Highland Games, and it was outside. So wherever, I don't know where the heck they would have it outside in Columbus.
I don't know.
But it was outside somewhere, and there was a bunch of complaints because it's cold. I mean, it's 30-some degrees outside, and so they had it inside. And I had never seen anything Highland Games. Essentially, just looked like track with kilts.
Pretty much, yeah.
It was. I mean, I only saw essentially it was the shot put.
And it was still impressive. Like anything with it, like any lift really at the Arnold Classic is going to be,
it's interesting because you see things like that you just would never see anywhere, and you see strongman. It's basically, it converges all these different things. Because me personally, I'm not going to go see a Highlands game. That's not interest. Yeah. I'm not going to go to a strongman competition. I'm not going to
go to a fencing thing.
Yeah, I'm not going to go see fencing or the jump rope when we're walking out.
It's cool when it's around you because you can see little tidbits.
Oh, that's different. And you're like, that's really fast in person. Like the person jump roping, you're like, strongman is trying to fathom the hundreds of pounds they're lifting.
One thing I think that's really good about seeing all this stuff in person is kind of like with the bodybuilding side, and this is really not trying to like in a bad way, but you kind of get more of an impression of what someone's like in real life. Like, for example, height. A lot of people kind of perceive bodybuilders as these like very tall, very huge people, and yes, they are very muscular. But in reality, a lot of them are not as tall as you would think. Johnny Jackson, I'm pretty sure that I was as tall as him. Jay Cutler was probably an inch and a half, maybe 2 inches taller than me with his hair and his mohawk. The only person actually, even Arnold, Arnold passed us, and
he's not 6'2".
He definitely was not as tall as you would expect. The only person we saw that actually looked like the height that you thought they were was Lou Ferrigno. We saw him actually walking up, and he was like looking down at Jay Cutler. And he's the only person I saw that I was like, I could believe that he was, like 6'2" plus.
Yeah. That was really cool because that was just out of the blue. When we're waiting in line for Jay Cutler, we're like,
he just randomly showed up. Yeah, it's because he was being inducted into the Hall of Fame. But
it's just such the perfect timing that we have for them. Like, oh my god! Because what did Connor say that?
Oh yeah, he mistaked him for Franco Columbu. He said, "Look over there, it's Franco Columbu."
Isn't Franco Columbu really short?
Yeah, he's short. Like Franco Columbu was like 5'5".
He was the guy that competed with Arnold for those bunch of years and was really short. And I was like thinking, I'm looking for Franco. I saw the other guy that was there. I'm like, I don't think that's Franco Columbu.
I was looking. He's like that guy with Jay Cutler, and I was like, you mean Lou Ferrigno?
And I look over. Yeah, and I was like, I'm all confused. I'm like looking at this short guy that's over there, that's all jacked, and then I'm like, look over back to Jake. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the Hulk. Like I was
who's like only
it's like he looks really old. I'm like,
I
was like he looks really old. But I'm like, that's Lou Ferrigno. Like that's pretty freaking cool. Like that's just
looks good. I mean, all these bodybuilders.
I mean, he's like Arnold. I mean, he's in his 70s.
Yeah, he's in his 70s.
So like for a 70-year-old, yeah, he looks really good for that age.
Yeah, absolutely.
But all the stuff was really interesting. So it was a really great weekend with that. And I know Jay, you're gonna post it probably next week.
I have a lot of footage. I have to really go through it. I've got it uploaded to my computer, but I don't have anything sorted, so I have to make some sense of it first.
Yeah, and I'm in the same boat with that. And what I'll probably do with mine is make sort of a compilation of the different clips that I took.
Yeah.
And probably not the pictures. I took a lot of pictures, and I'll probably find the ones that I like and put them on Instagram. But I'll make a compilation of different videos that we took. And I did, when I was with Jay Cutler, I took a video in lieu of a picture to get extra things. So I don't know how I'm going to use all those things, but I'll just make some sort of compilation with that. And I don't know if I'll make another video talking too much about the arm. If anything I remember I may add, but it may just be a short compilation with that, because I know, at least on my end, I have a couple videos in the queue that I have recorded of just like rants that I made, as well as this video will have some workout clips from this week. And I plan to do a form focus video about deadlifts, because those have been going really well, and there's some things I want to talk about with that. But my Arnold video will probably be next Friday, if I'm just guessing a date, because I have the form focus video that I want to post Tuesday, and then this one will come up hopefully on Sunday. Hopefully Sunday.
I have probably 2 videos I'll try and get up, because I have enough footage. I don't want to throw out a really long Arnold Classic video, so what I'm going to do, yesterday we went to Beyond Limits gym, a really cool place if you're ever in Columbus. But I have enough footage from there. I'll probably try and just like a training video from it. Maybe just like put some background stuff to it. I don't know. I'll figure out what I want to do with it. But I'll probably do one for the workout we did, and then a second one for the Arnold Classic. I have to go through. I have a lot of clips that I'm probably not gonna put it even in the same order. I have to figure out what I want to do with them. And there's a lot of stuff. I didn't take that many pictures. I took a lot of video, and then that way I can kind of just take screenshots and use those more as like actually shots like Instagram or something like that. That way, because I wanted to keep a lot of the videos of different celebrities or people that I was meeting in my video. I didn't want to just randomly have like, a still clip of like someone like, that wouldn't really fit the same flow.
It was funny. Who was the woman that thought you were taking
I forget her name. I feel really bad. Anyone who watches Generation Iron TV on YouTube, she's the one who has like the really cool hair and
buzz sides.
Yeah, really buzz side. She's like the announcer for it. I don't remember her name. I felt really bad. I was thankful and didn't mention it. I just said, hey, can I get a picture with you? So I actually got a video, but she thought I was taking a picture. So she's like doing that thing where she's like holding a pose so long, and then she like busts up laughing. So I'll throw a bunch of things like in that. And I met more people. I'll throw some names up there, but I know the video is kind of rambling a little bit, so.
But yeah, definitely this week was exciting. I look forward to hopefully doing this again next year, and hopefully I can qualify for the powerlifting stuff. But if not, then next year 2018, so 2019. So I think 2019 will be a for sure year where I can at least qualify. So there could be weird things that make me not, but I would at least have the total to get to it. So hopefully I can do that, and I might go down to Florida this October to try to qualify for the next Arnold.
Orlando,
with down there in Orlando with that.
Which is about 2 hours from where I live, so it would work out pretty well.
Yeah, and it just depends if I can get strong enough with that. So hopefully I can, so that would be a fun trip to do, to go down there and to lift heavy weights with that. But with that all being said, do you have anything else to add?
No, I'm just saying, I know that for several years we've kind of thrown around, kind of like half joke, half serious about it'd be cool if we were both actually competing in the Arnold Classic in some way. I mean, obviously you'd be powerlifting, me you'd probably be like amateur bodybuilding, lightweight or something like that. Obviously, I probably wouldn't be until next year, a few years. I'm probably a few years for me. I'm still like probably for my very first show in June, which is literally just kind of like a judgment show. Figure out what the next steps are going to be. But that would be something very cool. Like 2019 or 20.